thought this was a great quote, and I did not realize this was from Thomas Sowell, because this is something. But either way, this is a great quote from Thomas Sowell. One of the most pathetic and dangerous signs of our times is the growing number of individuals and groups who believe that no one can possibly disagree with them for any honest reason. Well, you're just a racist. You're just a homophobe. You're just a bigot. You're just a transphobe. You're just a sexist. Yeah. Yeah. Because we couldn't legitimately disagree with you because you're fucking up our IPs! That couldn't have anything to do with it. Couldn't be because you're bastardizing all of our favorite lore! Couldn't be any of that. Couldn't possibly be any of those legitimate reasons. No. I just hate Mexicans. I am a self-hating Mexican. And that's why I didn't like the fact that you race swapped Namor. That's why I have an issue with Namor's background being rewritten as Aztec. And guess what? We will see him Namor. Namor. This is the shit we deal with on a daily basis when we listen to the screaming idiots out there on the internet. The TikTokers, all the people that libs of TikTok makes fun of. This is exactly who this quote is describing. Exactly them. Which is why I thought it was important to bring up and mention. Because this is who we face all of the time. These are the people that supposedly, allegedly, according to rumor from a very reliable source, Kevin Feige got rid of inside of Marvel. Right? That David Zaslav got rid of over at Warner Brothers Discovery. Right? That potentially Paramount might be firing. Because we got a story over Paramount's layoffs that I haven't got a chance to touch on yet. Because we've had so many great conversations today that I love. I love having these conversations with you guys. That's why I do this show. You know? And also, it's just also convenient that I can cut my videos. Because honestly, I'd rather talk to you guys. That's one of the reasons why I started cutting my videos in the middle of this. Right? Because I was running out of time to do my videos in order to get them up in time because we were having such great conversations. And so that's why we cut videos in the middle of our streams now. And also, if you're one of the ones that watches on YouTube, you get to see those videos first, or Rumble. And if you actually you only get to catch these live on YouTube. These get unlisted on YouTube afterwards. They're exclusive to Rumble afterwards. But these are the people we're fighting against. These are the spirit of the age. When I say possessed by the spirit of the age, these are the people I'm talking about. These are the exact people I'm talking about. The ones who legitimately cannot understand that you hate what they are doing to their favorite characters because you love your favorite characters. They legitimately think your character is not worth, or is worthy of sacrifice on their altar. And they don't understand why you don't realize the cult is more important than Lord of the Rings. That the cult is more important than Captain America. That the cult is more important than Morph. That the cult is more important than Superman. That's the people we face on a daily basis. Those are the people in charge of Rings of Power. Those are the people that were in charge, or that are in charge of Star Wars. They're the people that have been in charge of so many of our beloved franchises for so long. These people right here. It is beyond their imagination for you to disagree with them. And I'll go biblical on you. We've got prime examples of this in the Old Testament. Walking right out of Egypt and still not believing. Marched right out of Egypt. Passed through the waters. Manna from heaven. And still. Is he really the ultimate authority? Is he really the one true God? These are the hardened hearts people. I think this is literally who the Lord is referring to right here, is the people whose hearts are hardened, because it is out of the realm of possibility to understand any other perspective than their own. And that is scary that people like that ever got into the positions of power that they did. And fortunately enough, they're losing a lot of those positions of power now because of people out there like you. All of you guys out there in the chat, everywhere. Because of people like you, because you have said, no, I will not pay for this. I will not put up with this. I will reject this. And you will fail because of it. Because at the end of the day, we have the power. We are the fans. We are the ones that are responsible for making these IPs what they are. And we will be the ones responsible for making sure they go down in flames. Because you betrayed us for what? Some promise of notoriety? Some promise of being on the right side of history? Because you've deluded yourself to believe that anybody disagrees with you is just a horrible person? You've convinced yourself that you're the good person, that you're the hero of this story, not realizing, just like the old meme we've used a million times, never even crossing your mind to even ask yourself, are we the baddies? Not even asking yourself. You don't even care. You don't even think it's possible. The arrogance and the hubris that exists inside of some people's minds, to me, is incomprehensible. And it would be incomprehensible if it wasn't for the fact that we had so many real-life examples of this right here. One of the most pathetic and dangerous signs of our times is the growing number of individuals and groups who believe that no one can possibly disagree with them for any honest reason. How many times you've seen fans labeled phobes and racists and sexists, all because we didn't like She-Hulk. We didn't like what you turned Jennifer Walters into, right? And then we got called racist as well for Star Wars. And we didn't care about a black, I was hoping Jedi. Obviously, that would have been stupid to think of because everybody loves Mace Windu. But I think Finn got screwed in those movies. I would have loved to have seen him go on to be force sensitive and have powers. And that would have been the reason why he broke away from the First Order, because of his sensory powers or something like that. Because he understood what he was doing was wrong. Instead, they used him as a vehicle to push an agenda and a shield. So anybody that disagreed with taking out Han, never getting our three back together on the same screen, turning Luke into a broken, destroyed shell of a man, disillusioned with all of his ideology and all of his ideals that he held dear. And because you think what you did was okay, you think that it's okay to do all of this. So you lash out at us because we disagree with you, because you believe we're broken, that we're the ones in the wrong here, that everyone should love and adore your vision. Well, Lucifer thought the same thing. And we know how that story ended. And we know how that story will ultimately end as well. That story will end no different for any of you out there. So I hope you all realize that. And I doubt any one of you out there who are responsible for this kind of stuff will ever see this. Will ever see this stream, or maybe I'll clip it out and turn it into Common Nerd Goes Philosophical on the State of Hollywood. But at some point you will realize it. And maybe it won't be me that you'll realize it from. Maybe it's somebody else. Or maybe it'll be your maker. And the sad part is, at that point, it's too late. So keep all of these insane people in your prayers, because they really are delusional. They really are broken. Because when you scream out to the rest of the world that they're wrong and decide to not even try to sit down and treat and understand anyone else's perspective, and the whole world turns their back on you, at some point, hopefully, you'll realize you are the crazy one. Because one of the things I've learned from watching history and paying attention to culture over my very short time on this planet is that eventually they do lose. They do fall. Because no one in a delusional state like that can hold on to things for any length of time. And the culture evolves, and the culture learns. Right? We as a culture do evolve and become better and smarter, and collectively we learn things. The prime example I always use is the lottery story. It used to always be, well, you won the lottery, they're all broke in 5 years. It's not the case anymore, because we have collectively moved on. We collectively got wiser to that idea. Just like we've all collectively gotten wiser to what's been going on inside of Marvel, what's been going on inside of Star Wars, what's been going inside of DC, what's been going inside of our video games. We have a culture have gotten wise to it, and we reject it. We become more suspicious of everything you put out there. You have changed a generation by doing what you've done. And the best part is, all things for the glory of God. Because you changed it in the direct opposite way that you thought it was going to go, that you wanted it to go. Instead of everyone falling right in line with your delusions because you're going to be the one on the right side of history, we as a culture have rejected them and pushed back against them, and now you're losing. You're losing in ways you never thought possible. And trust me, there are plenty of people out there who thought the exact same thing. And people on our side, quote unquote. The common sense folks out there, the black-pilled folks. And guess what happens? The culture shifts. The Overton window gets moved and the pendulum swings back. You better just hope we're gracious enough to not let it smack you all the way square in your nose. Because trust me, there are plenty of people out there with more than enough justification to allow that. Instead, you better all hope we've got the grace and the forgiveness that God's Son granted us. Because if we don't, there is a very dark road ahead for you and the rest of us. So let's all be better. Let's all understand that these people are crazy, they are insane, and should be treated as such. Bring back the sanatoriums, because for quite a while, the inmates have been running the asylum. Fortunately enough, the adults have finally stood up, taken their belt off, and are finally putting the culture back in its place. All praise be to God, and thank Him for this before you thank anything else.